Section 6.4, example 1, identifying the domain of a logarithmic function. What is the domain of f of x is equal to log base 2 of x plus 3? Okay, let's start off with, so logarithms are the inverses of exponential functions, and exponential functions had horizontal asymptote here, and let's just say this is of base 2 here. So these got really, really close to equaling 0, but never actually crossed 0. Our domain ended up being from negative infinity up to positive infinity. So we have that, and they had a range from 0 up to infinity. So keeping that in mind, when we look at logarithms, we're kind of looking at the opposite. So something that does this, we have something that does this. Well, actually, a little closer to this. Something like this, where this is our, we'll say 2 to the power x. We'll call this log base 2 of x. So two inverses of each other. They have this. So our domain is actually restricted on our logarithmic function. We have a vertical asymptote as opposed to a horizontal asymptote. So our domain is restricted. All of these numbers are not going to be part of the domain of a logarithm. So what we do is whatever number we have in here has to be greater than or equal, or not equal to, but greater than 0. Because if we try to find log of 0, we get an undefined solution. So log of 0, not a number, so undefined. But if we do log of 0.00005, we do end up with a solution here. So even though it's a really negative number, it's still a value that we could plug in. But again, if we plug just 0 in there, we're not going to get a solution. So let's keep that in mind when looking at the domain of a logarithmic function. So whatever we have in here has to be greater than 0. So let's just work on that part. So for the domain, we have anything on the inside of this has to be greater than 0. So x plus 3 must be greater than 0. So subtract 3 from both sides. We have x is greater than negative 3. So if you want to put that on a number line, open circle, numbers greater than 3 are going to be numbers bigger than negative 3. So we have this arrow, which in interval notation, x has to be between negative 3 and infinity. So that's the domain. And that's it. That's all they asked us, the domain of the function. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, bye.